How's it going, YouTube? In this video, we're taking a look at 5 cards that I would buff in Shadowverse. This video is more for fun than anything else, but I hope you guys enjoyed. If you guys liked the video, give me a like, give me a sub. Thank you guys so much for watching. So before we start, to give some context to the video, I did a 5 cards I would nerf video recently. People had some mixed reactions to that. So just so we're clear, this is more for fun than anything. I'm not saying I would actually buff these cards. Side games have not buffed cards in the past, and I don't really see them doing that in the future either, so, you know, just kind of for fun. 5 cards that I think have some potential, but maybe could be a little bit better. Anyway, I hope you guys like the video. Number 5 on my list is Execution. It's pretty low on my list because I don't really have a clean way to buff this card. There's a couple different 5 play point removal spells played. Dance to Death, Call of Casitas. You know, and those cards I've seen some play, I think is pretty cool. But you rarely see Execution. Now, the upside that Execution has is that it can destroy amulets, right? But that's really not that relevant. So a buff I say, and I ask here is, what if we make Execution banish amulets or destroy enemy followers? Now, if that change were to happen, would people still play Odin in their deck? Also interesting to note is that there is also the neutral, the Haven card that for 5 banishes follower but not an amulet. And you want to make it so that a class card should be better than a neutral card, right? So if you make Execution banish amulets, then it's kind of weird. But I think it would be interesting to see what would happen if a change like that came into play. Next on my list, on number 4 is Latham. Latham is one of those cards where he's kind of like a meme at this point. Either you love Latham or you hate Latham. Most of the time people are talking about Latham, they refer to the leader and not really the card. The change that I will make here is pretty simple. Essentially, I would change his effect and change it with Clash, Summon a Knight. I think if Latham were released today, that would just be his Warden. So what that would change is that when he attacks, he would get a Knight, but when he's attacked back, he would get another Knight, right? That would make him a little better without making like a drastic change to his like the sign. Would that make Latham good enough to be played? Probably not, but you know, again, makes sense that he would just be a Clash instead, right? So that's kind of how I would buff Latham. Number 3 on my list is the Ancient Forest Dragon. Now, I'm picking this card because recently I tried to build a Control Forest deck, and what I really found was like, there's really no incentive for Forest to really play a Control style, because like, why would you play Ancient Forest Dragon? We could play like neutral legendaries like Odin, Lucifer, stuff like that, right? So I think the Ancient Dragon is an okay card, and I think the change that I would make to make him a little better and maybe give Forest some incentive to play Control is to make it so that he gives not only other allied followers the resistance to being targeted, but also himself. That way he'd be like a 6/8 ward that can't be targeted, and that'd be a pretty solid effect. So I think it's an interesting card, but could definitely be a little better. So I think that would be a nice change for it. Number 2 on my list is Mithril Golem. This is a card that I think it's actually, you know, surprisingly solid. I actually played in you know, couple wacky rune decks. I think the effect is strong. It's just kind of slow, and most people would agree it's kind of like a bad card. I had a couple changes in mind. Obviously, a simple one would be like make his cost reduce, right, if you spell boost it. But then that would lead to like Dare decks having like AoE clear, and like that's, I don't think we want to go down. I don't think we want to go down that route. So my other proposed change would be make it so that for every enemy follower that he destroys, that you heal for like maybe 1. So like he destroys 3 minions, you heal for 3, or maybe 2. That might be too much. I'm not sure. It essentially give like a control rune deck the ability to clear the board and also sustain some life back. And I think that would be kind of nice. I think Nimrod Golem is not a horrible card. Like I said, I already played in some decks, but I could be a little bit better. And I think giving it like a heal portion would be nice for a control rune deck, which I hope one day will be like an actual thing. And number 1 on my list is Skullfane. Before I talk about buffs, let me just say that I think Skullfane, as it is already, has potential. There's one of those cards where like, as more expansions come out, as more cards come out, there might be a card or two that interacts with Skullfane in a way that makes him like an actual pretty good minion. Right now that is not the case though. I've tried to make Skullfin work in a lot of decks. I've really tried, and I really like the card. Just wish it was a little bit better. Whether that be, again, with interaction for a new card, or, you know, Skullfin being a little bit better. One change that I think is pretty massive is that Skullfin destroys all your amulets. And what this means is that you cannot have a Guardian Sun Skullfin combo because Skullfin destroys Guardian Sun and you don't get ward. So I think a change that I would make straight up would be make it so Skullfin only destroys allied countdown amulets. That means you could play Skullfin in a deck with Guardian Sun, where you can, you know, play Skullfin, get some amulets, but they have wards so that you don't just, you know, get your board ignored and they go face. I think that would be a solid change that already make him a way better card. But I would say you can go as far as he might be able to cost 6 play points and not be like completely overpowered or anything like that. A 6 play point 4/4, pops your amulets. I think that'd be a solid card, especially if you could play it with synergy with like Guardian Sun and things like that. Like I said though, in the future there might be other cards that make Skullfin good, so there's always hoping. Anyway, that's the list. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. Let me know if you guys enjoy content like this, and thank you guys so much for watching.